This video was sponsored by Wargaming's very own World of Tanks War Stories. If you have ever been interested in driving a Tiger tank through the sands of North Africa, find out more after the video. Rome, the empire that laid the groundwork and contributed so much to the modern West. Millennia ago, it united most of Europe under one banner. That didn't last, of course. Ever since the collapse of such a vast empire, Rome's homeland of Italy has never been able to reclaim that former glory from 2,000 years ago. When the fascists took over the country back in the 1920s, their leader Benito Mussolini promised the people of Italy that he would reclaim that glory the Italians once had. To most of Europe, Italy was a joke. Ever since its reunification, it has had a pretty poor military record. Wars in Africa ended horribly, and their colonial ambitions were minuscule compared to Britain and France. Mussolini dreamed of finally giving Italy that respect back. His hopes were that someday the Italians would dominate the Mediterranean world in a neo-Roman empire. As we all know, that didn't happen at all. They got bogged down in every invasion they tried. Greece, North Africa, you get the point. What I'm imagining is, what if Mussolini's dream had come true? Say the Axis powers win, and Italy annexes all the land they want to make their neo-Roman Empire dream come true. In this alternate timeline, it's pretty necessary for the Axis powers to win World War II. How do they do this? That's not very important. I've already done some videos about that. To make up for ignoring the Italians in those videos, let's imagine what this Axis victory would look like from an Italian perspective. Congratulations, Mussolini, you won the war! You can now annex any nations you want. If Italy's plans had been realized, it certainly would have been comparable to the size and scale of the old Roman Empire. But, sorry to burst your bubble, Linguini, just because you win the war, it doesn't mean you could have had the power of Rome. Why do I say this? During the war, most of the conflicts Italy fought in, Germany had to back them up. Which reminds me, there actually is one thing this neo-Rome shares with the old one: the Germans. It's a common misconception that just because Germany and Italy were both in the Axis powers, that they shared similar beliefs and got along fine. They in no way were friends. In fact, they really hated each other. Hitler was vocal about how he saw the Italians as a lazy, useless people. He used their terrible military performance as an excuse to show how weak of a race they were. But Cody, you say, I thought Italians were European and white. That's right, Jimmy. But you see, for the Nazis, they organized whites themselves into subraces. At the top were the Aryans, and at the bottom were the darker-skinned Mediterraneans. This wasn't a secret the Germans kept either. They made it very well known to their Italian allies that their race was inferior. No matter how much Mussolini insisted for Hitler to change his mind, well, he didn't. If the Axis powers won the war, this racial tension between the two doesn't go away. It becomes a legitimate concern for this neo-Roman Empire, which shares borders with the now strongest military force in the world. In peacetime, the Axis powers are dissolved. Since Italy doesn't have an efficient military, this large nation is plagued by constant native revolts in the North African colonies. With Germany having the upper hand, Italy's entire fate is determined by whether Hitler wishes to do something against the Italians. Whether this would happen, maybe not. It's kind of impossible to say. What is known is that the neo-Roman Empire would be weak and unstable, constantly at fear that its northern neighbor might bully them, or worse, destroy them entirely if need be. Sorry, spaghetti. This video was sponsored by World of Tanks War Stories. For those that don't know, World of Tanks is an online multiplayer game where you command a single tank against 30 other players. There are over 450 historically accurate tanks from the 1930s through to the 50s. And best of all, it's free to play on all PS4 and Xbox One consoles, so you can get into it easy. Now they've introduced War Stories Runaway Tiger. It's a story-driven campaign where a team behind German lines in North Africa steals a Tiger tank and must drive it back to the Allied front. In honor of it coming out, Wargaming has a special offer for new players who click on the link down below. You can grab one free tank, a garage slot, and 3 days of premium game time while this offer lasts. The number of registration codes is limited, so be sure to click fast. This is Cody of Alternate History Hub.